It's Tuesday. Mondays with Mathology over for the NFL season, being replaced with this show. This is the first episode of the All Dog Show, or All Dogs Go to Kansas City if you want to use the full name. We're going to be trying to get to the Dawg Bowl in Kansas City on Underdog. I'm going to be here every week, or at least Mathology is going to be here every week. I'm going to join him at least in the meantime. Maybe we'll get some guests on later and I'll step aside. We'll see. But at least in the short term, I'm going to be with Mathology every week discussing strategy of the Dawg Bowl for Underdog. We'll bring on some great guests as we go along. Mathology, of course, not only the BBM regular season points leader last year, he also got sixth place in the Dawg Bowl last year. Not only qualified, but crushed it at the Dawg Bowl. So he's the perfect guy to talk about the format. I have not made a new intro video for this one, but I will throw on the Mondays with Math intro. We'll be back with Mathology in a minute. This is Mondays with Math.
Oh, let's go!
I'm calling it Mathology.
Mathology, without any further ado.
Look, he's got his outfit on.
We are back with another week of Mondays with Math.
He had the best team in the regular season in Best Ball Mania last year and had nothing to show for it.
I would like to go have some dinner out on Lake Champlain this afternoon.
And of all the BBM teams that we simmed in the Eliminator 2025 structure, Mathology's was the best.
Yeah, it was a good team. You got a big purchase. I saw you got a Nance coin.
Mathology, one of the best drafters on Underdog.
The only sin in Mathology is being stupid.
This is just the best ball gods saying we need more Mathology in our lives.
If I win, I'm going to be here. If I lose, I'm going to go back to work.
Oh, I thought it was okay. I've got Mathology here. Let me there we go. We've got the and I gotta move the overlay. Math, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Neil. It feels like a Monday, even though it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, these shows, so these are going to be regular Tuesday shows, of course. Now the NFL season is starting. I've got Monday Night Football stuff every Monday, so we had to push this show to Tuesdays. But part of the reason we wanted to do this show, actually, I'm going to change it to just us on the screen for now. Part of the reason we wanted to do this show on Tuesdays is you want to beat out some of the ranking sites. So some sites are going to release rankings on Wednesdays. You think that there is edge to getting into the Dawg Bowl earlier in the week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was kind of the meta last year, was trying to get in these rooms before ETR pushed out their rankings for like the 6 mans, the 12 mans, and their overall projections usually comes out Wednesday at 11.
Okay.
So a lot of sharp people, and hopefully the people that we get on with us for this show will kind of are the ones that also punch tickets, and similar approach of getting in early, try to beat AD, try to like actually be the ones that make the ADP for the contest by getting in early versus waiting. It's a couple new things that we'll talk about that Underdog did for the 12 mans. Now ADP is going to be available to everybody, so that kind of changes the philosophy a little bit. But
okay. I
do think, like with all market kind of based games with peer-to-peer, getting in early and try to find those fun rooms is definitely going to be plus EV, even though the contest itself is extremely negative EV. So it's not one that you're going to get a good bankroll unless you actually punch a ticket. And we'll talk about how difficult that can be.
Yeah, definitely tough to punch tickets to basically any live final that you try to play. I've never been one to chase these qualifiers, but this would be a fun one to get to. And of course, you got there last year, so hopefully we can punch one on one of the streams. I know you've already been drafted. How many of these have you done already?
13.
Okay. All right. How many do you think you're going to get in? I assume you're not like maxing it out.
No, 20, 25 max probably for me. I know there'll be some people that 150 it for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But this is one of those things. We met I think almost everybody attended. So that was really cool. And there was a lot of people that were like one and done. And I was like a low volume guy last year, because last year was my transition year from DraftKings to Underdog mostly. It was week 3 that I punched a ticket. I did it on 2 entries.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they were both early. I was doing I think I did one on Monday and then one on Tuesday before I left for my trip. And that's the one that I ended up punching a ticket in.
I've always asked people when they get people who do chase the tickets, like if you get to a live final, I'm sort of like, there's a part of me that thinks if I just get one ticket to it, I might just stop trying to chase them, because you're already getting like the vacation. So like the fun aspect of it. But on the other hand, like having multiple entries is obviously a huge competitive advantage. Maybe less so here, because you already get 3 entries with your one ticket, right? I assume that's the same. Is that the same this year? Okay. So you could just stop after one, take advantage of the vacation.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting question.
Yep, that's what I did last year. Once I got in, I didn't really ever enter after that.
Yeah. Well, you made some slides here to talk about the format, so let me throw those up. This is the first page. You want to go over the format here?
Yeah, so if you're new to Underdog and you're drafting the best ball, the off season, kind of the best ball 2025 season stuff, and you just hear about this contest, I just kind of want to do a quick kind of evergreen overview. These are the BRs, everyone calls them battle royales, but this is like the 12-man battle royales is the Dawg Bowl. So it's catered to really understanding the draft boards further on. A lot of the content that we're going to hear probably the next couple of days, and the Bad Bros do a really good job. People do a lot with an off and on and clock as well, but a lot of that is sometimes a 6-man. So you got to like separate the 6-mans versus the 12-man. It's a wholly different format, and you got to really understand the player pool a lot further down, and like position scarcity really matters in these 12-mans. So again, it's 12 12-man boards, 6 rounds, 72 players drafted. So the Dawg Bowl itself, there's only 434 draft boards complete. So that's a way I like to think of it, with a little bit with combos and stacks being maybe getting built out, just to try to like think of that. I know there's 5,280 total entries, and you're trying to finish in the top 3 of that, which is that could kind of melt your brain trying to think of it that way. So I kind of condensed that down and thinking of it by like draft boards, 430 draft boards, try to get top 3, try to build the top 3 draft board of that 434 is kind of how I like to look at it each week. It's sometimes get in early, or looking at low owned players, those kind of scroll down plays that you're going to hear quite a bit in the next couple of days and days leading up to the Sunday's lock. So only 12 weeks for this contest, so it's hot and heavy, and you're going to see people try to really jam in and punch that ticket early, because as the season goes, projections just get better and better, usage gets better and better, and it's more harder to punch tickets the later you go. And the scores seem to get higher. Last year, when I punched a ticket in week 3, I only scored like 123 points was mine, and most of them were in the 130s, 140s even. So the scores definitely get a lot hard. It gets a lot harder to as more time goes on.
Is it the same format every week, where it's the 5,208 total, or they don't do like higher stakes Dawg Bowl? It's just the exact same every week.
They were flirting around with that last year, where they're thinking about either raising it and lowering it. And I think they did it one week, and then I think they did a little trial at the NBA Dawg Bowl that they did, and then they just said, we're going to keep this the same every week so everybody knows what to expect.
Oh, I like that.
And it sounds like that's what they're doing again this year. So it should be the exact same size, same price point, $25, which it's a lot, to max this thing. It's like maxing at BBM. Yeah. And really, you only get paid out if you finish top 3. I mean, there is some scoring for the top 10%, but you're not going to make a lot of money back. So it's not one that you're looking to kind of get your bankroll. You want to kind of do that with pick'ems and other kind of low dollar volume contests that you might want to enter.
Yeah, this is not a contest that I would be maxing out. $3,750 a week, unless you have a huge bankroll, obviously. Right. But yeah, for most of us, like, not worth chasing 150. But still, like, I think doing a dozen or so of these, 2 dozen sounds like you might do. Seems pretty reasonable for what could be really fun. Shot at $200,000. Looks like you've got the payout structure here on the right. So it's 200,000, 100,000, 70,000. Pretty flat payout structure. Yeah,
that's for me the most appealing. Other than for me, the people that punched a ticket were really just solid rock star people that just getting to know people that you're grinding in these streets, and a lot of them were on the Deposit Kingdom Discord and friends of the Flanoverse for sure. But it just like the whole environment and what Underdog did with in Dallas was just really nice. And it was such a highlight of my year last year. And I would really like to try to get back and punch another ticket. And hopefully some of the guests that we have on are also the ones that went to Miami, went to Dallas, and they're going hard to Kansas City this time around as well. And that's pretty much when we log in, we're going to see a lot of previous Dawg Bowl qualifiers in these lobbies.
Sure.
So we can kind of see what they're building and maybe stay in our own lane or try to see if we can bully them and build that team stack or that game environment that we like better.
Once you get a taste, you got to get back. So everybody's trying to get back to the Dawg Bowl. Who's been in there? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you been to Kansas City?
I've never been to Kansas City. No.
Okay.
I heard really good barbecue.
Yeah, I've never been to Kansas City either, but I'd love to try the barbecue. I'll acknowledge chat and then move on to the next. Of course, Bindles, thank you very much for the thumbnail. Love the thumbnail work that Bindles did there. What's going on? Scott, Hames.
Yeah. Shout out Bindles.
Dick, good to see you. What's up, Steven? Let's go. Okay, yeah, we're going to get into it within the next 5 minutes or so. Den, good to see you, young man. Double flex question. I have Josh Allen. Should I start here going? That's a good question. Somebody in chat should answer that one. Good question for chat. All right. Let's go on to slide number 2. Here's your week 1 overview.
Yeah. So I'm lucky enough that I was able to get my slow drafts all done in time before the 1 hour clocks really hit hard. But as soon as I was done the eliminator, I've been really focused and took the weekend to really get into week 1. Hasn't been a whole lot of content. I was thinking today there have been more week 1 content, but not really. Everyone's still trying to finish up their last of the drafts. That I saw today. The Swolecast did their kind of DFS, kind of the more DraftKings style. So it wasn't a lot of like content yet on week 1 overview here, but I kind of took my kind of math approach on it. What I saw was about a lot of the top quarterbacks aren't on the main slate. There's only 5 of the top 10 that we were drafting all off season that are there. So I kind of feel like game environments are going to be a little bit suppressed. I think it might be a low scoring slate. So that kind of helps how I like to build inside of game environments, or just really kind of attacking some of the best games, the highest points, total points games that are available. Yeah. So it's really right now for me, it's to Jaden or to push it, because it's Jaden, it's Burrow, it's Mayfield, but Burrow, Mayfield, those are pocket passers, very kind of stack oriented type of quarterbacks where Jaden could probably get there by himself, but hit that elite ceiling. You might want to stack him with a pass catcher. So that's kind of, I always start with the quarterback position and kind of work my way down. I think getting the quarterback in these qualifiers is paramount.
Because they're only 12. I mean, 12 get drafted, you only have so many options. So it's like a majority of quarterbacks will get drafted. So you want to get a good one. That makes sense.
Exactly. Because everybody has to take quarterback. Everybody has that option to take 1 running back or 2 running backs or 2 wide receivers or 3 wide receivers. And everybody has to get a tight end. So those are the count of the 6 roster spots that you have to fill.
Yeah, in this game environments, I feel like you and I have talked a little bit over the weekend. The one thing that you keep saying, the one phrase that keeps coming back is game environments. It seems like that's like a huge part of your strategy for this. Yeah,
how each team's going to try to attack and what teams could be that, have to have a game where it maybe hits that 60 point mark, both teams get into the 30s. With a 12-game slate like that, if you can kind of guess right and get the touchdown variance in your favor, you're going to probably get to that 130, 140 roster, and that's where you're going to want to be to punch a ticket.
Does a 12-man draft affect 2 running back builds game theory optimal status at all? Like increases it or remains the same? Do you have any opinion on whether you should be trying to build out 2 running backs, so running back in the flex spot versus just taking best available? What's your approach there?
Yeah, it's slate specific. Like this slate here, and that's kind of was my next talking point, is running back. This slate, it feels deep, but then it dries up really fast with projected volume. And then wide receiver, to me, it seems pretty deep, other than the elites up top, but they go in the first round, and then it's just a completely flat tier. So to me, this is a good slate to kind of play it both ways, where you're building 1-1 or 1-1-3-1s or 1-2-2-1s. Like, it all depends on kind of your early picks dictate how you kind of move back, your decision points back in your roster construction. Historically last year, 1-2-2-1 advanced more. But again, that's last year. Running backs crushed, Mixon, Jacobs, all those guys, Henry, Kamara, those guys all kind of crushed throughout the season. It's just running backs outscored wide receivers kind of as a whole. But again, we are playing half point PPR, half point per reception. Where running backs, it is the ultimate equalizer. So touchdowns really are king. And that's what you're kind of chasing in this contest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wide receivers, you say stacking / elite one-offs, just a handful. What do you mean by that? So you want to stack? There's only a handful of wide receivers that you would attack as one-offs.
Yeah. I feel like it's a stacking your wide receiver type of week, other than Chase, who you can probably get through. Chase is one. Evans is a tough one for me right now. I feel like you kind of want to have Baker if you're gonna do Evans. It's just up top that the ceiling out wide receiver is kind of capped after really Chase goes off the board. I mean, Nico Collins is probably another one that can get home without Stroud. That I wouldn't mind just kind of a one-off Stroud. But again, that environment doesn't look crazy appealing to me, other than the fact that it's the Rams, Houston. I love when the AFC NFC games match up. Usually those games can go a little wonky because both teams are not familiarized with themselves very well. There's not a whole lot of game plan. Not like you got to hide plays back because you're not playing them again until maybe the Super Bowl. The next time you might face one another. Right. So both teams might open up the playbook a little bit more, but at the same time, early in the season, this is the first time these guys are going to be playing all 4 quarters. So this is like a ramp up period. So like projections are the softest. There's a lot of uncertainty. So this is the time that we can try to lean into the uncertainty and try to just make bets that we're right. Like, this is how this game's going to play out. This is the stack that we need, and lean into that uncertainty a little bit.
Yep. Okay. And then tight end, grab an elite or 4 to 8 or scroll. Grab an elite or 4. Tell me what are you doing with tight end?
So this is again, if you jump on the 12-man ADPs on the app, you're going to see that we have the 3 elite. Bowers, McBride, and Kittle are on the slate for us. So they're going to go early because pairing a running back and a tight end is pretty powerful with all your options that you have available to you in the rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you can kind of grab your elite running back, your elite tight end, and then try to build a game stack behind that.
Okay.
And you're seeing a lot of drafters doing that. It's a kind of a smart way to approach it. Does that mean that it's going to be the optimal? We don't know, but that's how it's kind of currently being drafted. And you can kind of see that in the ADP. And then kind of ranking on the ADP, 4 through 8 are pretty strong bets. They project okay. Some of the projections that I've seen right now, just looking at like Fantasy Life's projections for week 1, those guys are all kind of project decently, pretty flat tier, but then there's a cliff.
Okay.
Tight end 9, tight end 10, tight end 11, tight end 12, you're really praying for a touchdown, and it's going to be tough to compete with those better teams with better tight end play.
So you would rather, at that point, you would scroll down for somebody who's going to be like lesser owned. Is that the thought there?
Yeah, exactly. You'd probably want to scroll down versus getting, what the ADP of 9 through 12 is. That are getting drafted at, they say 50, 60, 70% of draft boards. You might want to try to get a low-owned guy to lap the field if you can.
Yep, makes sense. All right, and then I think this is the final slide. Yeah. Or is there one more? Yeah. Building for 130 plus.
Yep. So again, that's my kind of philosophy. Is I'm always trying to think about how can I get to 130. Like I said before, I was about 123. 123 was my team. It was like a Fields double, and I had the tight end in my double. My running back was Jordan Mason. Shout out Jordan Mason for you and your
for
your Skull Nation. This when he was with the Niners after all that CMC news, because it was week 3, and then I had Nico Collins, and then I had a big touchdown, or not a big touchdown, but a decent day from Worthy. So it was kind of a pretty much Pittsburgh Steelers stack double, and then just those kind of one-offs off of it for 123 points was enough to punch. And then same thing with like when I was at the Dawg Bowl, it was a Tua double, and then another team stack with Hawkinson and Addison. So it was just that team. And that team scored about 125 for a really solid score. So again, those are the kind of numbers that were floating out there. I know like DFS, you're always looking about 4 times the salary to get that 200-point pace on kind of salary cap.
Yeah.
But Underdog for drafting style games, we're kind of want to be in those 130s, 140s. Sometimes you can get home at 120, depending on what the scoring of the slate is. And I'm kind of forecasting this to be a kind of a low scoring slate. So I kind of want to lean into those game environments as much as I can.
And these teams on the side, are these teams that you made this year already, or are these teams from last year?
Yeah, these are 2 of the 13 that I picked out that we could either kind of talk about a little bit, but I don't mind showing my work a little bit to help people get into this style format. I know it can be daunting, like it was for me last year, trying to figure out this and like jumping in these rooms, and you kind of see the same people over and over again that they're trying to qualify for this contest. So it can be a little scary. So I just kind of want to show a little bit of the work. Yeah. Let everybody know that it's okay if, 1, 2 bullets and just kind of, and do the same thing over and over again. If you really are just a Lions homer, throw it in the Lions double stack every week and see if you can get home just kind of playing the same stack over and over again. And you don't have to, cover all your bases every slate. You can get home with a single bullet in this contest.
Yeah, and here you have a little bit of overlap. So you've got Jahmyr Gibbs in both lineups. See the only one? Yeah, maybe Jahmyr Gibbs the only duplicate in these lineups. So these ones a little bit different, but yeah, no reason to not play it through the players you like. So I by the way, I've entered us into a draft. We need 2 more to get in one. But if you want to go over your teams a little bit more, the thought process there. Okay, we're down to 1 more. I could exit if you have a lot to say about this, but I figured I'd get us in there because I don't know how long it's going to take for these to fill.
Yeah, sometimes they take long, but I'm thinking there might be people watching knowing that we might enter. So, okay. But again, it's kind of like, grabbing that elite running back, high projected volume with a lot of ceiling. Like you can't argue Gibbs' ceiling. And then tight ends dry up pretty quick. So I put an emphasis on them. I got Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, kind of thinking both of those guys could probably one of them can outproduce the other, or they both could have really nice games. Because again, we're trying to get to that roughly 22 points a game throughout our whole entire roster to get there. And then I double tapped running back again, because as we do these drafts that we're going to show you here, like there's a lot of good wide receivers. It's very flat that you could kind of just searching for ceiling or chasing ceiling, is like to say, of these wide receivers, and to get them kind of correlated with the bets that I made early. So if I can get like Gibbs with some Packers, or if I can get a McBride with more Cardinals, or play that game environment where they play Cardinals, play the Saints. So like Alvin Kamara or Olave would be, maybe that game goes over that 42.5 total. And that's kind of a nice, 49 or 52 point type of game that can kind of bump me up the leaderboard. Cause it might be a little low owned on the Saints side of things.
Right. And we
and then vice
go ahead.
Yeah. And then vice versa, kind of with the Cardinals, or no, I'm sorry, with the Raiders Pats game. The Raiders secondary is really bad. So a guy like Henderson to me is a little appealing, because all he needs to do is get to that second level, and there's a good chance that he can outrun, and the Raiders secondary might be missing some tackles or making some poor angles, and Henderson with his speed might be able to bust him to the house on kind of maybe limited work, because we know he's going to be more in a timeshare with Stevenson.
Yeah. Okay. I just got an update that Pierre Strong waived by the Browns, and the tweet says current running backs Ford, Sampson, Judkins. And I was thinking, did Judkins? No, but he still remains unsigned apparently.
Yeah.
We are just about to be on the clock. No Gibbs for us this time. We might have that Jaden Daniels decision. But I'm gonna let you think about what you would want to do here. Do you like Jaden Daniels? So we're on the clock. Do you like Jaden Daniels? Do you prefer somebody else around here?
I do like Daniels here when he falls kind of a little bit further. Sometimes he might go a little bit further, but I think there's a little bit of a tier break here. And the upside's worth it.
All right, let's do it.
Who's in the room? Do you know who's in the room?
Oh yeah. We got some sharks in here. We got Neil Farley in the 1 hole. We have Charlie line of scrimmage at 3. I don't think I know Hockey Hooligans.
Yep.
FF Links. I know the name. Hot Sizzos. I know the name.
Yep. Yep. Those last two were there last year. Crutches too. Is that Crutches?
I don't think I see Crutches in here.
Oh no.
I see Kosak. Oh, I think this is Kosak. Is that best ball guy maybe? I'm not sure. But then Dan Preciato, I know that name.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of names some names that I definitely know who they are, and then some that I'm less sure that I know who they are, but I recognize the usernames.
Yeah, Charlie's in the chat.
Okay. Good to see Charlie there. Oh, BBG is Polak. Okay. Got it.
Is he Polish?
I assume. I don't know though.
Nice. Fellow Polak.
Oh, you're Polish?
Yeah.
I used to live in the Polish neighborhood of Brooklyn, Greenpoint.
Nice.
Maybe less Polish now than it was back then, but
yeah. Yep.
A lot of good Polish food.
Yep. Get your kibasi.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to give away too much, but when I think the ceiling with Daniels, I love to try to either definitely stack him with Terry, but maybe more importantly with Debo. I think Debo goes pretty late, so we'll be able to probably get Terry next turn. So I kind of lean tight end running back here if they don't scoop them all up on us.
Okay.
Because there is kind of a mid-tier running back fall off where the tight ends, to me, are better clicks. We'll see how it shakes out.
Yep.
And these rooms don't go very fast. I think a lot of people milk the clock. They really take their time. No one's really fast clicking like they are in some of the 6-mans.
I just want to ask, if Malik Neighbors had fallen to us at 18, I don't know how often that happens. Sorry, let's make our pick and then I'll ask you. Do you like Bowers here, Kamara, Kyron, Connor?
Yeah, let's get our tight end.
Which one do you like Bowers the best?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Pats historically give up a buttload of touchdowns to tight ends.
Now, if Malik Neighbors had fallen to us at 18, would you have done that for that? Yeah. For the game.
Neighbors a prime example of a kind of one-off ceiling wide receiver. Where you don't need to build that game out. Just say Neighbors has that 10 target game, gets in the end zone. 100 and a touchdown type of game by himself.
Would you do Ertz if you got sniped on Terry and Debo, or just stick with the naked Daniels?
Well, you'll see that Ertz is probably right now, he's getting drafted in majority of these things just because a tight end 12 is so gross. 9, 10, 11, 12, it's gross. And, the Commanders are projected right now to score the most points on the slate. So people are going to gravitate to that and try to scoop up some of those points.
Would you do it when you already have Bowers? So let's say both Terry and Debo are off the board. We're in round 5. I don't know where would be a reasonable point, but would you consider taking Ertz at that point as your tight end too when we already have Bowers?
Probably if it was really gross, but I really feel like we're going to find a wide receiver in that last round that will probably project a lot better than Ertz. And just say that Ertz gets it done more on the ground than through the air that game. We'll just have to kind of play it out that way. I'm not a big fan of the 2 tight end in the 12 game. If there was 11, 10, say it was a 10 game slate, and it was kind of gross like this where there's not a lot of good quarterback play. Maybe.
I love it on like short slates where people just like overlook the tight end twos and they go but on a slate like this it's a little bit tough. How gross is Rodriguez? I just saw the depth chart for Washington just came out. Any guesses about the unofficial depth chart if you haven't already looked at it?
Unofficial, it's probably Rodriguez, Eckler, and our boy JMC third.
It's Eckler number 1. It's McNichols number 2, Chris Rodriguez number 3, and then JCM.
Oh, I forgot about Nichols.
Yeah. But I was not expecting McNichols to be listed ahead of Chris Rodriguez. It'll be interesting to see how that actually shakes out.
Yeah, I agree. Our running backs getting wiped right now? What's that queue looking like?
Yep. Running back queue. Trevion Henderson. So we could do a little game stack there with Bowers, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Tyrone Tracy.
Sorry, guy just came up.
Do you want to go McLaurin and complete the stack here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I like that. I actually think that like there are a fair number of running backs that are like sort of intriguing to me, even if they don't project extremely well at this point.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to probably go after some Denver running backs. Be my guess. Kind of go after that. Lean into the they're projected to score a lot of points, and just hopefully it's through the ground, and we can get lucky on a running back here.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure if you could see my screen because I had this on full screen, but it should be working now. There, we're good. Here's Drap in chat saying good morning to you.
Nice.
One of our competitors here.
Yeah, super sharp. He punched 3 tickets. He got into every draft room of the Dawg Bowl.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, hopefully he can. Hopefully I can get him on a show and he can share some of that alpha with us.
Nice, yeah. Yeah. So to me, like the running backs that we're just reading off, Henderson, Pollard, feels like these are all like kind of the same tier to me. Like I don't see a huge difference. Of course, I haven't looked at projections yet for this week, but like J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, I don't know. Jerome Ford seems like a lot of like not amazing, but like you can see it running back options.
Yeah. I think one kind of common theme that I'm seeing in these draft rooms is everybody's a little scared of Breece Hall.
Yep.
So if you want to lean in and say that Breece is still going to get the lion's share, and with that game environment going to be kind of gross, but if the game stays close, both teams are going to run it. I think it could be a bet, especially when we're going to be kind of boxed out of really any running back with spike potential other than like a Hall or a Denver running back at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, Breece Hall is an interesting one because he's like people are worried about the potential timeshare with the other guys, and then of course the matchup with Pittsburgh. So he's like, I get it, it's a tough click, but then he's also Breece Hall. Like, doesn't actually need that much work, doesn't need a great matchup, can just break one off. So we're at 1-0-1-1. These 30-second clocks, why don't they up these to 20 seconds? Not used to this.
Yeah. It's kind of nice though, especially when you got a lot on the line. You're thinking through your decision tree here.
No, that's true.
All right, Neil, what do we still got on the board here?
So these are the running backs. Do you want to see all positions?
Yeah, I don't want to get boxed out of Hall right now. I think we need him on this team.
All right, well, looks like we're going to get him because Hotsauce already has 2.
Yeah. And that's one thing that you can really pay attention with this is position allocation on your opponents, especially if you're at the bookends. be smart about quarterbacks, be smart about kind of running backs. Once you have 2 running backs, you can't get a third, So just some little tips and tricks to help you navigate these rooms so you don't have to learn the lessons the hard way and by, punting off $25 when you do enter a qualifier.
Yeah, it's a good point. This is one where really paying attention to what everybody else has is really important, because sometimes people will the person on the turn on the one hole will already have a quarterback.
Yep.
And the 2 hole, it'll get to them. They're like, oh, I got to get a quarterback, got to take this guy. And they're not paying attention. Like, you actually can't take 2 quarterbacks. So you could have pushed that. Yeah, I think those are like some of the most common mistakes, I think, in these drafts, people not paying attention. Because even more so than best ball, where you can take multiple at every position. Like, it's really important to see what your opponents have, what they need, and then you can kind of make a lot of decisions based on that.
Exactly.
What RB is the last of the comfy tier to be your running back 1? Is it Breece Hall? Do you consider him comfy tier?
Yes, I do. I think I think the field is split on that. Comfortable.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna still get a lot of good usage. And then again, he's one of those, he can take it to the house just with a bad angle by somebody and he's gone. So he's one that I always like to have in my back pocket on a build like this one.
Yeah. Am I on the right microphone now? I swear I switched it to the right. I've been having some issues with the microphone lately, but hopefully I'm on the right one now. I just switched it.
Yeah, you sound fine on my end.
Okay. Tyler said that I was on the wrong mic, and I think he was correct. So I don't know what happened there. I think it's been getting disconnected here and there. Maybe I need a new one. I've had this one for a few years now. But yeah, we're at 1-1-1-1. Strong start, I think. I think like Breece Hall to me is like I guess I wouldn't call him comfy, but I do think that it's a good spot to lean into the uncertainty of week 1. Like, we're just like leaning into, we don't really know what the role is going to look like right now. Good time to take advantage of that when people are scared.
Yeah, I was just looking at Dwayne McFarland's ceiling projection on him. He's roughly 2 points lower than Bucky Irving, Kyron Williams right now. He's like a 26 half point projections. So
we're back on the clock.
Is Debo still there?
Yes, he is.
Let's say it's Jaden Daniels scores 30, throws 2 touchdowns to our boys.
Love it. Game environments. Leaning into
game environments.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody on the Giants that we would want for the game environment.
I mean, ideally, it would have been if Neighbors fell to us.
Yeah.
That would have been it. He hasn't been taken, but it's that dart throw. A guy like Darius Slayton.
Wandale. Nobody likes Wandale on half PPR.
Yeah. Or I mean, it's not, again, we're looking for 20 points.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to score 20 points, Wandale or Slayton?
Good question. I would say Wandale, but I think I'm in the minority there. Theo Johnson, probably not it. Probably not the answer there.
No, not on a team like what we got going here.
No, we've already got a tight end. We can find somebody with better upside, I would think. Which maybe we should start looking at. I mean, I see a ton of upside here. Like, there are players that are going to have awesome projections.
Right. Well, that's when you get to this point range of the draft, you can find great wide receivers.
Yeah.
It's such a long, flat tier that you can really just go ceiling chasing at your last click here. If you built like how we built earlier, especially if you take your running back earlier than we did, or if you kind of take that mid-tier running back or tight end. I kind of like saving that last bullet for wide receiver here. Or a quarterback if you don't take Jaden.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I see Diggs. I think Diggs with Bowers playing into a second game environment there.
Yep.
I see a lot of clicks that I'm like, I kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so projections right now does have for ceiling They're about the same at like 15, 14 for Slayton and Robinson. That are seeing. So it's not out of the range of possibility, but them to outproduce someone like Diggs or even Ridley. We got some good news on Ridley today that he's not going to just be locked on one side of the field. He's going to be moving all over the formation, so that means he's not going to be being shadowed. I kind of like that chat out there.
What else? So the other player that immediately stands out to me, I guess Garrett Wilson, J-Mo both look like awesome clicks. Calvin Ridley, but Travis Hunter at Carolina is one that I'm guessing is not going to get drafted all that often and is pretty intriguing to me. But but if you wanted to, did you want to do Diggs, or do you like somebody else here better?
I would love to get a Ridley share.
Yeah, I'm happy to get a Ridley share. There's upside there.
Yeah, there's a lot of upside there.
And that's it. Just 6 players: Jaden Daniels, Bruce Hall, Terry McLaurin, Debo, Calvin Ridley, Brock Bowers. Beauty.
Yeah, let's see Ridley's quick projection. Ceiling, he's right out of that range, 23-point ceiling. What they got it for. 10 targets potential, catching 7 of them for 105. Get that touchdown. Perfect.
Charles says Neil is always perfect. Yeah, exactly. Shut up, Tyler. No, I appreciate it. How important is a stack? Either a quarterback X or a game stack if you can't pair a quarterback. How important would you say a stack is?
Again, Slate Pacific. I mean, with this one, I think it's the way you want to try to build it for this. In this, what did I say? It was a 12-game slate.
15. Yep.
This 12-game slate with this many good quarterbacks, not on this one, as they're all playing island games. I feel like we're going to be watching Red Zone, and it might be 2:30 Eastern, and these games are pretty low scoring, and we're just moving around the NFL. No one's in the red zone, and it's going to be punting and field goals. But I could be wrong, but I feel like it's going to be a low scoring slate, low scoring main slate this week. It's kind of how I'm playing it. If you feel different and you think it's going to be a high scoring one, then you kind of want to try to get that 6-leg parlay and just pick the best player from each team that outscore everybody else. And that's when you potentially can get that 140 score that you need to punch a ticket. Yeah.
OMG Lowell asks, is Green Bay that bad of a matchup for Jameson? What do you think? I don't know. Seems fine to me.
Yeah, seems fine. I mean, he's just an angle, just breaks one angle and he's gone. Just one missed tackle, he's gone. He's got the speed.
Yeah. Fantasy community still has a quarterback FUD. Okay.
I just like the Ridley click there a little bit more because he's the game. If the game gets out of hand, he's gonna just get a buttload of targets. Game stays pretty close, and again, he's gonna be the number one option in that passing game for Cam. So he's more likely to get to that ceiling this first week than I think J-Mo is.
Yeah. I do want to echo what Tyler says here. Like the video. I'm not finding it here. Yeah, slam like. Please do like the video. It is very helpful to us growing the channel. If you would like the video, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be content on this channel pretty regularly during NFL season, at least Mondays, Thursdays, Sundays. I'll be doing showdown slates. Tuesdays we'll be doing this show. Friday this week, I think there's a showdown slate. It's going to be a lot of content on this channel. So if you want to follow that content, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get notified when we go live, hit that notification bell. Thanks for the reminder, Tyler. Do you want to do another draft here, Math?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you want to kind of play a couple different scenarios.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hopefully we don't get in that 8th or 9th, because it's that Jaden decision every time. If you're in that 8th, 9th, 10th spot.
Yeah,
it makes it tough. So if you do want to do a couple of these,
more fun if you can mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't got a 1.1 yet, and I'm gonna probably keep clicking enter until I get one because I want to chase share.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get one here.
what I do when I go in, before I kind of really start getting into these draft rooms, I kind of make a cheat sheet of kind of either some combos that I want or some game environments that I want. I'm looking through. Luckily, this year we can look through the ADP ahead of time, and you can kind of create your game plan off of ADP. Because again, as you just saw, the drafts kind of go by ADP. There's some reaches. A little bit with game environments, and we didn't really critique any other game there, but I'm guessing majority of the guys were all building game environments.
Yeah, I guess we can do that with this draft. Take a look at what other people did. That's a good idea. Just kind of get an idea for what teams look like in the contest, what some of the sharper drafters are doing.
Yes.
We're waiting on one more for this one.
That's good. They're filling fast.
Yeah, they are filling fast. I was worried that it was going to take a long time.
Yeah, this weekend, other than at nighttime, like during the day, they weren't filling up very fast. I think it was a couple hours on Sunday. I was just kind of hanging out. No, not Sunday. Monday. I was just kind of hanging out at the house a little bit after got done mowing the lawn. It took about half hour or so to fill the room.
We got the 4-hole here. A lot of the same names in this one. We got the what in the 1-hole. We got Coach Speak Index, Greg Branos in the 3-hole. Chris G in the 5-hole behind us. Dan's back in this one. Hots is Austin. This I don't know about Jay Wilsey. Charlie's in this one again. Schmo's back in it. Draft's back in it. I think JT McKenzie was in this one. So a lot of the same names.
Yeah, JT he made the NBA Dawg Bowl, and I think he was in the first NFL Dawg Bowl as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sipping a nice zero gravity Oktoberfest from Mass neck of the woods. Feeling more like fall. It is starting to feel like fall now that it's September. Zero Gravity, is that one of the Vermont beers?
Yeah, it's in Burlington. Really, really good beers.
Nice.
They have a nice setup with food and really, really easy spot to walk to. And there's just kind of the mecca. All the breweries are all on Pine Street, and that's where Zero Gravity is in Burlington.
Cool.
I haven't had that. I'm not much of a Oktoberfest kind of ale drinker, but I'll have to try it. Let me know, Scott, if it's worth trying.
I used to be. I used to do the Sam Adams Oktoberfest or whatever their pumpkin beer was. Like when I was in college, I loved it.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I was like, man, this is just I lost its appeal to me as I got older.
Yeah.
Gibbs goes. We got Bijan here, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, let's have some fun with that Atlanta Tampa game. I love that game.
All right.
That's probably my favorite game in the week. That's like interdivision game. There's a lot of interdivision games, and usually both teams kind of try to feel each other out a little bit, and they don't come in with aggressive game plans. But that one might turn aggressive just because Atlanta can't rush the passer whatsoever. So Baker's going to have a lot of time to throw it.
Yeah,
so
could be a fun one.
So I'm hoping that Bijan can break some long ones, and the perfect game script would be Atlanta gets out early and Tampa Bay's got to chase.
Yep. If we do the Bijan, especially with Bijan, and then we do some Tampa bringbacks, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
This brings up a good question. So Go AZ Cards asked, any Leggett with this Coker on IR? And then I think that brings up the follow-up question, like how far is too far for scrolling in these contests? Because we saw some like really high projected plays in this one, in that like still available in the 7th round. Is it worth it to scroll all the way down to players like Coker like Leggett, who are going to project significantly worse, but he might have some spike week potential? What do you think of that kind of question?
I think he's one of those scroll archetypes that you want to mix in if you're doing a good amount of these. He's a spike week guy.
Yeah,
he can get there on 5 targets with a big long play.
So he's more like, you'd be more inclined to scroll for him than you would be for Wan'Dale Robinson, for example.
Exactly. Wan'Dale is going to get a lot of shorter ADOT. It doesn't mean he could have a completely different role. We just haven't seen it, but just historically, shorter air dot. A dot, and then just a lot of kind of volume sponge versus a lot of big plays. He's gonna have to break a lot of tackles to get you a lot of yardage.
Yeah, potentially.
But he could have a different role, and he could be downfield more. doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And if that is the case, then that's something definitely to target for week 2 if they're on the main slate.
Yeah. This is sort of a sore subject around here right now. Terry says all you cokeheads are on IR. Imagine that. Yeah, I mean, I was so excited. This was like a huge win for me. Jalen Coker, one of the few like that. I'm like, man, this is just. I'm gonna have so much of him, like like a great price. He's my highest exposed player. I got him mostly at a great price. He's moving up. Like people are drafting him. I'm seeing him going like the 120s already. Listen to ADP chasing Jacob Sanderson's like he should have been a 9th round pick. I'm like he was just could have been such a smash, and now it feels just totally dead. He's only technically out 4 to 6 weeks, they say, but it just kills all the momentum.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm feeling down bad with the Coker stuff.
Yeah, I kind of got lucky where I actually was still taking Leggett over Coker.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
We're back on the clock. The big 3 are gone.
Oh, that's a massive fall for Brown. I think we got to do St. Brown.
For who? Oh, Monroe. Oh, yeah.
Or Puka. Those are both pretty nice clicks as far as running backs have now getting pushed up because of what I thought was going to happen with just getting the projected volume running back plays. But since we got one, we probably don't need to double tap and we can grab the falling ADP. And again, projected at a very high scoring game, good game environment that we can still back out. As you could see, like an ADP, Matthew Golden hardly goes in these draft boards. So he's definitely one that I'm thinking about maybe building out that game and just saying that it's mostly Bijan and then that game kind of duds out a little bit.
Sure.
We'll see.
I think the dream there was for Mike Evans to fall back, right?
Yeah. But he usually goes in that 1-2 turn. He's not too
really?
far off it.
Okay.
Yeah, that Atlanta game's pretty hot. Everybody's I have one too. I have a Baker double with London bring back. That feels pretty good right now.
Yeah. I'm going to let you tell me what you want here. Do you want Kyron?
Yeah, let's go Kyron.
Okay.
We're going to like a lot of those any type of wide receiver that we want to grab in that same game environment, or we can kind of go ceiling chasing and maybe backdoor another game environment. And then we just hand selected the top player in those 3 different game environments.
Yep. And now we can build off of them or build off of one of them at least.
Yeah, we still can build off one of them, or we can set up something completely different, we'll say with our tight end.
Yep. This is a good question. OMG says no concern for the Tampa offense with no Wirfs. He is out for the first 4 games or something. I don't know. I think he's on IR, so at least the first 4 games.
Yeah, I'm not, because Atlanta's front is, just great. Again, I'm trusting the people that are grading offensive line, defensive line mismatches and stuff. The guys over at ETR, they have Atlanta's defensive line being really bottom 5 on pressure rates, just overall, just the team's not built up front. It's more linebackers in the back end.
Okay.
I think Tampa's they're going to have time to throw, and if they make rushing lanes, I think they'll be there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The what says, yep, not versus Atlanta. Who's coming? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're going to see a lot, and I hope I'm right, is just continue targeting these NFC South games.
Yeah.
It might be kind of an early trend in the NFL season where a lot of games just kind of dud out, but who's playing Carolina, who's playing Atlanta, who's playing Tampa, who's playing Carolina, or when they're playing against each other like they are this week, to kind of target those game environments.
Yeah, the Carolina Jacksonville one to me looks like it could be kind of a sexy game to play, which we haven't gone after yet. But is that one that interests you at all?
Yeah, I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting to hear a little bit more. But right now, I got Tank Bigsby written down. I don't think he's gone yet in a Dawg Bowl, and he's one I wouldn't mind a Bigsby share going into Sunday.
A lot of speculation that Tootin might be inactive for week 1.
Yeah.
So it could just be a 2-man show there. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
And that's kind of, I mean, I'm probably sharing way too much information on a free stream, but that's kind of how I'm building game environments early, waiting for more news, letting the ADP shake out before I really start going for those low own guys.
Sure.
Just so I'm not burning that $25 off a guy that probably won't get a lion's share of work. But as the week goes, and we're starting to get more information from Coach Speak and projections and stuff like that, don't be afraid to jump in one a little bit before Sunday and select a player that you like.
Yeah. I mean, my motto, just for the record, is share everything. Like I just I do not hold back. I do streams with people who like on the stream are like, I'm not going to tell you my favorite play, and it drives me crazy when people do that. It's like it's a free stream, but they're also giving us our time. So
anyway.
True. Yeah. All right, we are back on the clock. Do you like Pearsall here with everybody out for San Francisco?
I do.
Purdy just went, so I don't know if you want to build out something else. What are you thinking?
Let's do Warren. Let's get that tight end.
Okay.
Let's get that Miami defense. I want to target games in a dome, probably up in tempo. I kind of that's another game that I like, and I wouldn't mind like a Waddle 2 finish, or we could do something fun with St. Brown and do JMO and Goff. Sometimes Goff gets sniped though because people take him in that last round before us. That's happened to me a couple times. People take an unstaffed Goff, but
okay.
But you can always take Love on that flip side if you had to.
So there are 7 more teams that need quarterbacks, if I counted that right. So we are at risk if we don't give ourselves too many outs. I mean, we could always take Daniel Jones as a fallback if we needed to.
Like, Waddle already went. So
okay, we do JMO. Do that.
Yeah, let's do JMO, and let's hope that we don't get someone goes naked golf on us. That happened to me earlier yesterday.
Right.
Because I had a very similar I had a St. Brown fall like this, got JMO, and I think I had to bring back with Golden on it, and that was a 1 running back room. Very similar to this, but this one has two running backs, which is nice.
Would you, so say Goff goes, would you then be more inclined to take Daniel Jones here? Like that would be kind of an unowned stack. Like I doubt anybody's taking dimes.
I probably would take a one-off Fields.
Okay, Fields makes sense too. I mean, to me, Dimes is like the type who's like, he's been a good fantasy quarterback at times. So like the big risk for him and to me in best ball is like that he's going to get benched because he's not very good, but he could put up a big score. So it would not be the end of the world to me if like, but I agree. Fields is a pretty solid one-off pick. So I'd be okay just doing that too.
Yeah. My thought with Warren is just kind of touchdown hunting in a potential high scoring game. But in that same thesis doesn't mean that Jones can't get 20 points. So, yeah, it's a good call. I mean, Jones is. I tell you right now, Jones probably hardly ever got drafted. If he has, it's a couple times.
Yeah,
definitely that low ownership kind of big leverage on the field. Click.
Let's see. Drap took a running back here because the turn already has a quarterback. Now we'll find out if we're gonna lose out on Goff to the Laporta owner.
Yeah, which could happen.
Yeah. Now he goes Lawrence.
Well, he had the
Notice Mercy. He had the Jacksonville stack. Yeah.
Yeah, Jacksonville. Yeah. So yeah, Jap went. Yeah, he pushed Hall and took him as his RB1. Same thing. Haas took Ford. With 3 wide receivers, with Daniels, he was able to do. He's going naked, or he's going to grab Ertz here, maybe.
Yeah. How are you feeling about Warren? BP says love Warren week 1. I assume you're talking about Tyler Warren and not Jalen Warren. Are you?
Yeah, I think Sanderson has pretty much nailed how they want to play. Jacob Sanderson has been saying they want to play a lot of 11, so Warren's going to be on the field. Downs banged up a little bit. Dimes just wants to get the ball out fast. He wants his guys just get open quick and he's going to just throw it. He's not one to, try to go after a big play. So I'm hopefully Warren can be one of those separators early and be a big part of the game plan in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Just got to get that touchdown.
All right. So we're going to get our guy.
Nice. That feels good. Nice Detroit double. A high scoring game.
Yeah, I like that. We didn't do any kind of Green Bay bring back, but I don't think we need it.
You don't need it. It's nice if that game really pops off, but we have a lot of projected points on our running backs and volume with Bijan and Kyron. And then we got a young rookie tight end. Well, hopefully it's a big part of the game plan in the middle of the field and in the red zone. He gets that touchdown. He gets that 16 points. If we can get 16 points of our touchdown and that stack goes off, that game goes off, this team's got a shot.
Yeah.
With what we did early.
Let's go over some of the other teams before we get out of here. So I'll start with the what. And I don't know anything about ADPs here. So it's a little bit harder for me than it is with best ball to like where you can see like, oh, he got a great value on some player. Like this can be a rare combo. I don't really know how rare the combos are. But the first lineup, he's got Chase with Burrow. He's got James Conner. I forget. Do you know who Cincinnati's playing?
Cincinnati has Cleveland. So again, that's another game environment that you want to try to tackle. And that's one thing that I haven't been seeing that I'm kind of surprised that I haven't seen is a lot of people have that opportunity to do Chase, Higgins, Burrow, and they are choosing not to do it right now. And that's one that I might try to do if I get the 101.
Yeah, it is interesting. Nobody doing the double stack. Just want to lean into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like an easy one to do. But yeah, looks like a nice team. Not a lot of game stacking from what I could see, but does have the stack there with Chase and Burrow.
Yep.
Greg Branos, what did he do? Gibbs and Kenneth Walker, so just taking strong projections there. He's got Fields as a one-off, Pearsall, Puka. He also took some nice values and leaning into ADP a little bit, looks like.
Yeah, just 6 start throws at the highest player on the team. You can get home that way.
Chris G has Purdy doubled with Jawan Jennings and George Kittle, so he's just making the bet that Jawan Jennings is going to play week 1. Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor.
They play each other, so that's he's betting on 2 games right there. That's kind of how I like to build right there. That's pretty nice.
Who is San Francisco playing? San
Francisco is playing Seattle.
Okay. And then he's got Washington also. Okay, got it. This one's interesting. So Dan goes, he did have, never mind, Njoku. I thought he took Flacco on stack, but he does have Njoku with Flacco. He has Brown Genty, so takes the running back early. Gets Njoku, JSN, Debo, and then Joe Flacco with his Njoku. And then he has the Chase Brown bring back on that one.
Yep. Yeah. That's a nice one too.
Any other teams you want to look at here?
What did Draft do? Oh yeah,
so
yeah. Okay, that's right.
He started with Nico and BTJ, just a common best ball start there. Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., Jerry Jeudy, Sam Laporta, Breece Hall, and then he has T-Law. And Jacksonville's playing Carolina, so nice little stack there with T-Law and BTJ. Doesn't have any Carolina bring back, but then he's got just a Breece Hall one-off.
Yeah, that's one of those teams that are going to project. That projects really well.
Yeah,
that's a projection-based team right there. It's good. Those are good to have as well.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're not going in big game environments.
Yeah.
And then the out of the 12 hole, kind of brought McBride over to the right side of the board, where she's been mostly going to the left side of the board, and he sets up that Murray premium double. That's really nice. And did he have any Saints with it? No, he just did the Giants and Metcalf, which both of those guys are going to project very nicely. And then Warren.
Yep.
So he has. Then he said Pittsburgh's going to score some points. He had a little team stack.
Oh, yep.
Last 2. That's nice. That's a smart build.
Yeah, it is nice.
I like that.
Yeah, Charlie says that he loves Chris G's team. Yeah, that is a nice team. The one that has just 2 game environments he's leaning into, and then a 1-off Eckler.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, that is a nice one. Did we talk about Charlie? We didn't talk about Charlie's. He also has Josh Jacobs and Trevion Henderson as his running backs, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Hunter Henry, and then he has Drake May in that one. So he's got Drake May doubled with Hunter Henry and Trevion. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Doesn't have the Las Vegas bring back, which is leaning into the Pats being able to hold up against that defense.
Pats go Burrow. Yeah, and then Green Bay projected to score a lot of points, Tampa and Miami. Yeah. Again, that's kind of the flavor of the week right there that you're seeing in these 12-man boards. Some people building team environments, some people going after kind of what's high projection or ceiling projection like plays. And then some people kind of middling it with maybe just stacking one team and going 3 one-offs.
Yep.
So kind of gives everybody a little sense of what's going on in these rooms. Hopefully they get in these rooms and join us.
Yeah, hopefully we can. I mean, hopefully we can see them in Kansas City this year.
Yeah. Hopefully one of them was the shipper. We'll find out on Sunday.
We will find out on Sunday. Yeah. So I cannot wait. I cannot believe football is starting in 2 days. We're going to start getting results for our best ball stuff in 2 days, and then all the fun on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of work. It's so stressful for me during football season, but it's also just so fun. Like I just look forward to it all summer. So excited about it. What do you got? Anything going on this week? Any fun plans?
You'll see me in the BR streets and a couple more Dawg Bowls. I'll probably do about 8 or 10 more. So you'll see me in the lobby, and I'll be kind of watching the other streams. I'll catch you. Probably won't do much showdown, but I always like watching those shows because you get to really learn the players.
True.
That we'll hopefully see on the main slate the following weeks.
True.
So you're going to be on. You're going to be on tomorrow, or are you going to be Thursday?
Tomorrow, I don't have any. Oh no, I do have a show planned tomorrow. I have my final best ball stream of the season tomorrow. I'm going to be on with BP Kelowna, who is a 23-year-old DFS crusher who has over $75,000 in play in best ball this year. So that'll be a fun one with BP Kelowna tomorrow. Then I'm going to be doing tomorrow night. I'm going to be on the cage match on the Fantasy Points channel with Jake Tribby and Scott Barrett as our guest. It's always me and Jake, and then we have rotating guests for that one. We draft DFS teams against each other for the main slate on DraftKings. So we'll be doing that on Wednesday. And then Thursday, the first big busy day of the DFS season for me, where we're going to be drafting, I'm going to be doing, first of all, in the morning, I'm going to be doing a show with Ship My Money from Run the Sims. We do a regular morning show. I'll be doing another stream before lock on Thursday, going over all the plays and then running the Sims on the stream. Friday, I'm going to be doing the show for 4 for 4 with Davis Maddock, Pat Corraine, and now Squirrel Patrol is taking over as I was the host last year. Squirrel Patrol going to be hosting now. I'm going to be moving to the guest spot. Saturday, Outside the Box with Scott Barrett. I haven't decided if I'm doing something else on my stream. I gave up some of my writing that I was doing for 4 for 4 last year. So I might have time to do something else there. I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm doing there. Might add something, but then Saturday Outside the Box with Scott Barrett. Sunday morning with Roto Grinders. In the evening, doing my own stream for Showdown. And then Monday, again, back to the Showdown stuff, Ship My Money show. And then I've got some writing mixed in there. So it's busy, and then repeat week after week, streaming literally every day of the week for me during this NFL season. So it's going to be a busy one. This is, you will not have a day where you don't see me for the next 6 months potentially. This show, as we talked about, is the one where I might at some point just say, you can do this one without me. Because you're talking to some potential guests. So I might bow out at some point and let you just run the show here. But other than that, going to be streaming a ton. Should be fun though. It's going to be fun, right?
It's so much fun. Don't do it if you don't love doing it.
Exactly. Apologies to Matt. He says, wait, you're done. I just got here, sad. Apologies, but as I'm laying out my stream, I'm like, oh God, I have so much work I need to do before the NFL season. My brother's also in town, so we're getting together, driving out to my parents' house tonight, half an hour away. So I just got too much to do. So I can't go on forever today. But Math, appreciate you as always. we are going to get out of here. Hopefully you're going to go catch some sun.
Yes, it's a beautiful day up here. Usually we play beach volleyball on Tuesday nights. A bunch of dads get together.
Nice.
Kids run around.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, the lake's it's getting colder, but it's still pretty nice. We're going to probably get out there, go a little swimming.
Nice. Enjoy. All right, everybody, we're getting out of here. I'll be back streaming tomorrow with BP Kelowna. So see you then. Thanks, everybody. Please like the video. Catch you later.